How did Lone's album go from being top 10 to debuting 18? I believe it was top 10 Apple Music. But if you're talking about top 10, it's because of the projections. And I also think that Lone didn't have a big single. Like, I know it had If Looks Could Kill, and that's doing well, but I actually don't think that that is carrying it enough. Like, I did not hear one standout song from If Looks Could Kill, and that's no diss. That's just like the type of album it was. It didn't have like a No Stylist. I'm talking about the track on the No Stylist album where it was like super hype and like people could listen to that in the car and like everybody could catch a vibe to it. Like, it was all kind of chill, Destroy Lonely music, which is what he is, and it still sold well for what it was. So he, honestly, I think it was a W, but that's why the projections went from 35K to 29K, but ultimately that's actually natural. Usually the projections are much higher because the first day streams, and then it kind of like fades off throughout the week, and then it comes to a plateau, and then it'll probably be getting like millions of streams every month. Like years down the line. So it's still a W for sure. Chris Paul was a good song too. Let's see the streams. Actually, I'll go to it. We can just check like what songs are actually doing well. This is what I like about Spotify on the desktop app, where you can actually see. So here we go. If Looks Could Kill, that had a head start because it was released prior. It had like 9 mil, I want to say, before the project actually dropped. It could have been more, I don't know. But yeah, see, like all these other songs other than Ken Carson are at like 2.6 mil, but these ones are at 1.5. Like, and of course the first couple of tracks can have the most because that's the first songs that people are listening to before they once they're disinterested, they leave. So yeah, I just don't think. What did Chris Paul do? Chris Paul did 1.6. See, that didn't even do substantially better than any of these other songs. But that's the thing about rap albums, is that rap fans, at least in this time period, are much more engaged than other genres, other like aside from, let's say, or compared to pop, where usually those are just carried by one song, unless you're like, I don't know, Taylor Swift. So they end up selling a lot. But again, when you're in the top 10 of Billboard, you are competing against Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, that Morgan Wallen dude who is a country singer. He has 2 albums in the top 15, I think. I was checking it the other day. So again, we don't have that big single. You need that. That's why when a song starts popping off, like If Looks Could Kill, like this actual track, If Looks Could Kill, that snippet started blowing up. They're like, okay, we got to drop this album. Exploratory Life started popping off. Uzi's label was like, all right, it's time to drop Love Is Rage 2. That's exactly what they do. And so If Looks Could Kill did well, but I just don't think it did well enough to really get him on Billboard like that. Also, he's a new artist, so 29K is still a capital W. Like, that's still a huge win. So we can't really gauge right now. The next album is going to be big to see if it doubles to like 60K or 50K like Yeet, and then we'll see. They're going to start competing now, in my eyes at least. Like, they're the 2 top artists in this new generation of rappers. I'm hyped to see it. I think Destroy Lonely is a little bit, let's see, he's a little bit behind Yeet, because I think 2 Alive did 32 or 34K. If Looks Could Kill did 29. So, but he also had more features. He had Gunna, he had Young Thug, and then he had Uzi on the Geek Pack, the deluxe. So once Lone gets that Cardi feature, it's over with, bro. Because that's basically what Yeet got. He got Uzi, Gunna, Thug. That's like, that's probably in some worth more than a Cardi feature, if you ask me. And Lova Mooney, I'm not saying No Stylist is the best song on No Stylist. I'm just talking about objectively, like, what is the most appealing song, the most hype song where you can listen to it with the most the highest variety of people. Like, if we go to No Stylist, let's check it. Where is it? It's not on here. There's the Ultra. But I bet you that's one of the top songs on that project. Okay, look, 56 mil. Okay, so that acts as the single for the album, which I actually don't know if he dropped a single prior to this album. He did 20 Years Old, but that didn't even end up on the project. So yeah, just by the sheer sound of the song, No Stylist was bound to be the top song on this project. And I just don't think that this project, If Looks Could Kill, had a song like that. If Looks Could Kill is a good song, but it's kind of still chill, monotone. It's got the guitars in the background, but like, I don't know, it's very niche still. You get what I'm saying? Money and Sex is cool. Yeah, it's hype. It's hype. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like we've heard that type of song from Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, and I do think it'll continue to go up because it looks to be the most popular song on this project other than If Looks Could Kill. But again, that was the single that dropped before and had hella hype on it from TikTok. So it could be similar to Hell Yeah by Ken Carson and Sofego, wherein that just slowly grew to be the most popular song on Pink Hearts because of the energy. But that's why I always say, like, it's not just me saying I like rage songs or whatever, because I really don't. But I'm just saying you need a couple hype songs on a project to do well. It's just needed. You need variety, and that was one of the downfalls of this album, even though it was still a decent album. Going Up is fire. Sure. Look, a lot. You see me. You see all the likes that I have on this project. I like the project, but I'm just talking about what I know will do well just from the sound of it. And there are a lot of bots out here that will take a chill album and be like, yo, this shit's so mid and boring. And honestly, it was a little bit boring the first listen. You got to just pick the tracks that you like. But most people aren't actually going to tune in for a whole project. You got to realize that. Like, we're actually tuned into the brands and all the antics behind it. Most people are not. How do I feel about these new rappers compared to the previous rappers like X, Peep, Juice, Uzi in that era? We don't have an artist like that right now other than Yeet. And Destroy Lonely's getting there. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we're still in kind of like a cool off period, I think. I think in the next couple years, Yeet and Destroy Lonely and Ken Carson, all these newer artists, we're expecting them to blow up too fast. I feel like when the internet first popped off, or like SoundCloud and social media, Instagram, that's why all these artists blew up so fast, seemingly, because X was actually putting in the groundwork since 2015. He just ended up blowing up when he went to jail in 2016, I want to say. So these artists could very well become that. It's just you got to give it time. Are they doing anything absolutely crazy like them when it comes to sound and music? I mean, you could say that Sofego Ken came up with like the whole rage sound along with Trippy and Yeet and Cardi. So yeah, but we'll see. Time will tell. But there were a lot of artists that already fell off from this recent 2021 underground rapper list, unfortunately. But that's just what happens, man. But that happened back then too, with like the Lil Xans and the Pumps and all that, even with how high they went. Like Lil Pump's Gucci Gang hit like 1 billion views on YouTube. So we'll see. I think when did the SoundCloud era first start? Like 2016. So like when everybody's like Uzi started blowing up, Yachty, everyone. So 2016, it's been 7 years. So give it 3 more years, I want to say, like every decade. But that's just like it's not even a prediction. It's a hope that in 3 years we get another movement like that. But also I feel like social media has gotten to a point, because content is just fast food at this point. People are on their feeds all day, going up and down, seeing bitches' titties and seeing a weird TikTok that you like is not productive whatsoever. Same thing with music. So much music is dropping on a weekly basis that it's even hard to listen to an album and be moved by it, because in like 4 days you already got to start listening to something else, and you just finished the last project. You didn't even get to listen to it 2 times. And so it's almost like you got to catch somebody the first time. You got to be so good, or have such a catchy appeal to you like Yeet to keep fans or like attract fans. So that's why I think it's also harder for artists to blow up. Plus BandLab and all these other recording softwares are making it easier with the low barrier to entry of like it just does all the auto tune and everything for you, and the beats. There's even AI beats that'll like come up with a random whatever melody. So it's just making it harder and harder. There's so many more producers, there's so many more rappers and artists, so many people flexing on TikTok and Instagram, that it's harder to find the diamonds in the rough, if you will. Listen to Hard Rock. I wish, man. I wish he would come out of his hole and actually do something. But he's getting out of the military, so I don't know. Maybe he needs to unenlist or delist. I don't even know what the terminology is. But yeah.